Hey guys, back again. I'm doing this right after what if I was in Naruto. So yeah. Uh let's see. Uh I basically will say that Deku is wait, let's just go on to the USJ incident. Well, Deku's definitely going to be inventing some things before then, but yeah. Deku's just going to go to the USJ, yeah, like in canon, and she sees that there's a portal opening up. I'm gonna say that she, has like a portal sensor, like in her costume. So yeah, just one more thing to make her OP. So yeah, Deku basically. Oh, by the way, you all voted for her to be able to use Ki. So I'm gonna do that a little bit later on. So yeah, well, not a little bit later on, but probably in this part. So yeah. Deku basically is rushing up once she sees the portal, and she basically, yeah, gets her katana from, her nail bites. Bots. So, yeah. And then she just starts slicing each villain in, well, not in half, but, she just starts slicing and dicing. Just hitting pressure points, they'll knock the villains out. So, yeah. Deku's basically going to have her weights off at this point, so yeah. Deku is just going to be doing all that. And isn't it like Shigaraki Tomura? Yeah, Shigaraki Tomura is just going to say unfair, 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 or something like that, and call out the Nomu. And then Deku basically, yeah, well, Deku has like the sword turned into a cannon. And she hits this button, and it basically is charging a blast. And and Deku is basically just having it charge a blast, and yeah. And once it releases, it's just going to be like 10 times more powerful than a regular. Well, it's going to be a plasma weapon, so it's going to be like 100 times more useful than a gun. So it goes straight through the Nomu and melts, through it. Like it's super hot, so it melted right through it and sealed the wound, basically. So the Nomu is not going to be able to heal from it. So yeah. And Shigaraki's going to say unfair, unfair, unfair. You cheated, or something like that. And Deki would say, if anything, you cheated. Because all I used was some weapons to my and my natural strength. I don't even have a quirk. And Shigaraki is going to say, you don't even have a quirk, and you're this powerful, huh? Or something like that. So yeah, and Shigaraki and the portal villain basically just teleport out of there. So yeah, uh, Deku is basically just going to just stop all the villains. So yeah, All Might gets there and basically sees that everything's taken care of. And then Deku basically, well, no, then they arrest all the villains and stuff like that. Sports festival happens. Deku is basically, going to be, well, let's see. Deku is going to be training with 10,000 kilogram. I mean, kilogrammed weights or something like that. So yeah, and she's basically going to be faster than the speed of sound, like twice as fast as the speed of sound. So yeah, uh, she has a minor bit of key control because she figured out how key works by herself, but she doesn't, know how to properly use it yet. So yeah, she figured out what key was, but she, never actually, she wasn't able to really master it yet. So Deku basically just runs past everything, and during the sports festival, oh wait, you might have not, I might have not said it, but it's a sports festival now. So yeah, she runs past everything like 5 times faster than the speed of light. I mean, the speed of sound. She breaks the sound barrier and everything. So yeah, and yeah. Now it's time for the cavalry battle. Deku has the same team, and she basically just punches once in the air, and everyone basically stays away from her because there's like 20 shot, like a humongous shockwave from her just doing that. So yeah, uh, Deku wins that with 10,000 points. Uh, let's go on to the fighting exam. Deku is basically going to be fighting the mind control guy. He he basically tries to mind control Deku, but she basically punches herself in the stomach and just basically moves up to him and then just picks him up with one hand and throws him into the stands. So yeah, and he basically says that you must be proud that you have a strong quirk. And Deku basically says, I don't even have a quirk. And he's basically saying, you don't have a quirk? Basically surprised and everything. So yeah. She's basically going to say that I was ridiculed for not having a quirk. But do you know what I did instead of moaning about it? I trained my butt off. So yeah, that's what Deku's going to say to him. And he's basically going to start training to get close to her. So yeah, Deku's basically well, what every fight's the same. But now let's get on to half and half. Todoroki. Now I'm just going to call him half and half. Deku's basically just going to be breaking ice with the shockwaves. And basically tell what half and half to use his fire side because it's his quirk and not his dad's, and it has more effect on him because he realizes that she doesn't have a quirk. So yeah, and Deku still beats him. Deku beats him anyways, so even without a quirk. So yeah, and yeah, every fight's the same. And let's get on to Bakugo what versus Deku. Deku's basically just going to be running all around him. Like, it's going to look like there's multiple of Deku's all around him. And then, no, once Bakugo isn't looking, Deku's just going to punch Bakugo. So, yeah. And Bakugo gets flown out of the ring. So, yeah, that happens. Uh, okay, so, let's see. Deku basically, it's the highest amount of, uh, you know, requests, so, yeah. And Deku is basically just, then All Might basically tells her to come out of the room, and basically tells her to pick this agency. This guy has a quirk, but he has this special ability to use ki. And Deku basically says, "Oh, this about like this," and basically blast a ki blast. And now All Might says, "Yeah, something like that." And Deku basically chooses this agency. It's in Hosu City, so pretty close to Sting. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be ending it for now. See you guys later in peace. Well, this is actually short.